Wrestling fans, promoters, wrestlers, and anyone who enjoys pro wrestling now have something new to be excited about. The Wrestling Fans International Association, the WFIA, is back. WFIA is an association that exists to promote, grow, and support professional wrestling throughout the world. Membership is free. Your membership includes a free digital bi-monthly publication of the Wrestling Fan News newsletter, association updates, voting privileges, and much more. Please go to thewfia.org, that's thewfia.org, and become a member today.
Gentlemen, it is Slamtown time, and you know what that means. Today's episode, we'll be bringing you a special preview of All Elite Wrestling presents Wrestledream, an Antonio Inoki tribute show. Tim, how excited are you for this show? Scale of 1 to 10.
Scale of 1 to 10? Ooh, I'm going to have to go with a solid 9. I am very much excited to see this. It's one of my first times watching some AEW content. You've been slowly kind of getting me into it over the past week with some of the Rampage and Dynamite shows, just like watching some of the wrestlers that they have, watching some of the storylines, and I feel like it was the perfect moment to get into it leading up to Wrestledream, because now I kind of have a bit of a clue for some of these matches, and I gotta say, dude, I am freaking pumped.
Oh yeah, I'm very excited. I'm having people over. You're one of them. Watching it in a big group.
I'm a person, baby.
Hey, hell yeah! Pizza, wings, beer, sodas for those who don't partake in alcohol. I think it's going to be a really fun show. I think I'm like a 10 excited for it. Maybe like an 8 card wise, and then those extra 2 points are because my best friend is coming in from out of town to watch it with me, and I get to see him experience some of these AEW guys for the first time, and I think that's a very exciting thing.
Hell yeah, dude.
Well, a couple of these people on the card are ones I've definitely watched with you from other promotions growing up.
Right.
But a lot of these guys, I think it's maybe your first time seeing them.
It is, yeah.
I am so excited.
Yeah, lots of people that I have seen from either watching Rampage or Dynamite the past weeks. So definitely some people I'm looking forward to, and I guess we'll talk about them more as we run through the card tonight.
And I hired an undercover reporter to get this expose, but rumor has it that one of your favorite AEW guys is Orange Cassidy. Is that true?
Those rumors are right. You'll have to pay that private investigator quite a hefty tip for getting that information out there.
Can't pay myself.
Yeah, but no, I saw Orange Cassidy on, I forget if it was Rampage or Dynamite, but
it
just
was
his
Rampage Grand Slam.
Yeah, his whole gimmick of just being like, oh, whatever, like hands in pockets sort of deal. Dude, it cracked me up the first time I saw it. I was like, this is hilarious. I love this. I love how like zany and like over the top it was. And he just looks so cool too.
Yeah. You and my dad are both big Orange Cassidy guys. So that's fun. Yeah, Ralph's a big OC guy.
You know it.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll have Dynamite on and my dad will be in another room and then he'll hear, because when he gets announced to the ring, Justin Roberts goes, from wherever.
Weighing in at whatever.
My dad will do it along with him and come in from the other room. He always makes a point to watch Orange Cassidy. He's just fun.
He is. That's what it's all about, man.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, "Oh, this is dumb." It's like he doesn't care about the sport. Like, why is he wrestling in jeans? Why are his hands in his pockets? What is it? It's a gimmick. It's a character. Like, just shut up and have fun. It's that easy.
Right. And honestly, like, it's impressive being able to just like do like a standing like tumble with your hands in your pockets, and like being able to like hop back up off the ground and all that. Like, it's impressive.
Wrestling in almost a full Canadian tuxedo.
Is that what they call it? Jeans and a t-shirt, the Canadian tuxedo?
Oh, jeans and a jean jacket is a Canadian
Oh,
tuxedo.
oh, look at that. I'm becoming more cultured by the day.
Hey, look at you.
Sweet. All
Um,
right, so do you want to maybe run through the card together? We can just kind of talk about
sure.
what they've
Um,
announced so far, at least.
yeah, so at the time of recording, this is the card for Wrestledream. We're recording this on the Friday before. Um, there is an episode of Rampage at 10 p.m. tonight and an episode of Collision on Saturday night. As of now, they haven't announced anything for a 0 hour, and they could honestly add a couple more matches to the card between the two shows from time of recording to the actual event. So we've got 10 matches to talk about. And like I just said, this is the card as of time of recording. So if you're wondering why we didn't talk about it, it's because it wasn't announced yet.
We can't see the future. Come on.
What the hell do you think we are? Tony Khan's head bookers? No, we're not. We're just fans and we like it.
We're just two dudes.
Yeah, we're just two dudes. One of us has been a lifelong fan, and the other's a recent convert.
And I'm the second one.
Yeah, that's how numbers work.
Yeah.
So we've got the 10 matches in no particular order. First match we've got to talk about is Bryan Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. This was the first match they announced for the pay per view, and holy shit, it's a banger.
Yeah, I think it's going to be good. We were both saying that this is probably going to be the main event. Just
Yeah,
guessing.
I am confident in saying this could be, if not the main event, a match towards the end of the card.
Hmm. And
But
like we're both very excited. I've seen Bryan Danielson before in WWE. He's very good, very technical. Absolutely, like he knows his shit. And you're saying that Zack Sabre Jr. is kind of on the same level as him in that sense, right?
yeah, he's another very technical wrestler. It's gonna be like a. I was trying to figure out how to describe it, like a showcase of
Yeah,
just
showcase is a good word.
holds, submissions, strikes. This one is gonna go on. I think this could be one of the longer matches on the card too.
Hmm.
Um, it's just gonna be good. I
Yeah,
thought this was gonna be a first time thing, but listening to the AEW Unrestricted about Wrestle Dream, because like it's a weekly podcast they do, and a normal episode is usually one of the wrestlers in the company or a backstage person gets interviewed like about how they came to AEW, what they did before, what they want to do there, that kind of thing. But when there's a pay per view, Tony Khan, who's like the executive and the booker and like the owner of AEW, comes on and he breaks down the pay per view card. So he said that this match is the third match in a series. The last time Zack Sabre Jr. and Bryan Danielson fought each other was 14 years ago, and since this is the third match, they've wrestled twice before, and they're tied, one win apiece. So this is a rubber match, almost 15 years in the making.
yeah, a lot leading up to it.
This one, I don't think it's going to be quick. I don't think it's going to be a squash. I think Tony Khan and the people at AEW have enough respect for the wrestling business as a whole that they know this is a match that's going to be seen as like a treat or a special attraction for a lot of fans. So I think they're going to give this the proper amount of time it needs, and it's just going to be a banger, like I said. And to be the first match they announced, like holy shit, like
Yeah,
it kind of feels like how are they going to top this? This is the first thing they announced, but like the rest of the card we're going to talk about, it's pretty good. Like nothing sounds like bad.
hmm,
I'm just
it's got some
surprised
hits.
this was the first thing they
Yeah,
announced. It's probably just like a marketing thing. They're like, this match is happening. This is
right,
the one we're telling you about first. People will buy tickets just for this. The rest will trickle in. Like
right,
that was a good thing to announce first.
right. Yeah.
Also this show is from Seattle, Washington, at the Climate
Hmm.
Pledge Arena. Daniel Bryan is from Washington State.
Oh,
Uh,
little hometown hero action going on.
it's funny that you say hometown hero because there's three wrestlers on this card who were billed as hometown heroes when Tony Khan was breaking down the card. Bryan Danielson being one of them.
That's funny.
And the second one is in a match we're about to talk about next. Hangman
Oh,
Adam Page
good
versus
little lead up.
hometown hero Swerve Strickland.
Yeah, so
Swerve
both
is
of
actually
these.
from Seattle.
Oh, no way. Um,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, so both of these guys, I don't think I've seen either of them yet. Um, but again, this is just a singles match. No championship belt, no stipulations, nothing like that. So what are you thinking? Do you think this is going to be another technical one? Do you think this is going to be a squash? What are you feeling for this?
So the storyline going into this match, Swerve Strickland wants to make it to the top of the company. He wants to be AEW World Champion. He wants to get to that title that MJF has.
Right.
Standing in his way is Hangman Adam Page. Hangman Adam Page is a former AEW World Champion, former AEW World Tag Team Champion, and he's currently 1/3 of the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions.
Mm,
Um, he beat Swerve's guys to win this title. The Mogul Embassy, Brian Cage, and the Gates of Agony. That's who the Hung Bucks defeated to win these titles. So Swerve wants to get to that world championship. He doesn't care who stands in his way. He just knows he has to beat the person who's there to get to the title. He doesn't care that it's Hangman he's wrestling. He cares it's that roadblock.
right,
So he
right.
knows he has to get past Hangman to get to MJF.
He just sees it as a hurdle that he has to cross over.
Right. So I think this could be potentially good. There was well, not potentially good. It's going to be really good. Both these guys are talented. Um, there was some quote like they were doing the contract signing for this match on Dynamite, and he said something like, "Hangman Page, he's a cowboy. He has a cowboy gimmick."
Hmm.
Um, and Swerve actually in real life he raps, and then his character on screen is that he's like a rap mogul. He has a group of bodyguard guys. That's who the embassy is, and he's got his manager and everything. Um, so he said something like, "What's a farmer to a mogul? What's a hangman to an outlaw?" And then, oh god, there was a third one because it was something about their finishing moves. Oh, what's a buckshot to a kill shot? Because Hangman's
Oh,
finishing move is the buckshot lariat, which is really cool. I'm
mhm.
excited to see like your reaction to that happening in the match. It's such a cool
Hell
move.
yeah.
Um, this one, I know we still have 8 more matches to talk about. I feel confident in saying Swerve versus Hangman probably could be my pick for match of the night.
Ooh, all right. That makes me
I'm
very excited
I'm
for it.
putting that out there now.
Hell yeah. I
um,
love matches where it's like the motivation isn't like, oh, like these two guys hate each other. I like it when it's like, they both have goals, they both want to get to where they are, and they're just out there to prove themselves, sort of a deal.
oh yeah. Oh, and I should mention, Swerve Strickland also is a former AEW World Tag Team Champion.
Solid.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of heat, there's a lot of anger going into this match. So these two, they're gonna put on a show, but at the same time, they're gonna beat the crap out of each other.
Hmm.
It's gonna be good.
And speaking of AEW World Tag Team Champions,
Oh,
the
speak
third
about it, Tim.
match, the third match that we're going to talk about is a tag team match for that very title.
No
Um,
way.
it is, yes, believe it or not. So we have FTR, which consists of Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood, and they're the current champions. Do I have that right?
Currently the AEW World Tag Team Champions.
Yep. And they're going up against Aussie Open, which is Kyle Fletcher and Mark Davis. Do I have that correct?
You do?
Look at that. I'm flawless right now.
Proud of you, kid.
Thank you.
Hey, you're welcome. And I can call you a kid. I'm older.
Hey, truth.
This is actually a rematch. I had to look up the name of the event, and I got it wrong. I called it WrestleQuest, which is a new video game that just came out. It's a
Not
turn-based
sponsored.
RPG about pro wrestling. Um, this is a rematch from last year's Royal Quest event.
Very
It was
similar
a New
names.
Japan show,
Yeah.
and I think it was a year ago to the day the pay-per-view airs that the first match happened. This time it's a tag team title match
Mm.
because FTR has the belts. I know I don't know if you've ever seen FTR, but this is another one. They are the best tag team in the world.
Really? That's a
I
high bar to set.
they are these two they love tag team wrestling. They love old school tag team wrestling.
Hmm.
They're smash mouth in your face kind of guys.
Nice.
It's gonna be cool. FTR, well, before they were FTR, they were this team called the Revival in WWE, and their gimmick was no flips, just fists, and
Oh,
they
that's
fought.
a
They were
tagline for
brawling.
sure. That is a
That's good.
catchy tagline. Yeah.
If I still had the T-shirt that said it, I would be very excited, but I don't. Um, and Aussie Open, I'm Aussie Open is like a newer team for me as well. I've only really seen them in their AEW stuff, but it's going to be like a clash of styles kind of thing. They're fast paced. They do high flying moves, and they're kind of a hybrid because one guy's like uh, Kyle Fletcher is the smaller guy. He's like high flying. Mark Davis is a big dude, and he's a little bit similar in style to FTR themselves, but I, I think FTR will retain, but the pop if Aussie Open is able to defeat FTR and win these tag belts,
Oh, it's gonna be
holy
big.
shit. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Um FTR has been doing this cool thing, and it's like they have an open challenge for their tag belts, and the people who are accepting this open challenge are like newer, younger tag teams. So they've already been challenged by the Iron Savages, and the Workhorsemen, and both those matches were pretty great. They were squashes in favor of FTR, but they were still talented. Like they were still fun matches, and it was cool to see FTR giving all these young teams like TV time. Um,
Right. Right.
so I could be wrong, but I think Aussie Open fighting them at this pay per view is like the open challenge was accepted at the pay per view kind of thing. Um, because before this, Aussie Open was Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions. That's actually who MJF and Adam Cole beat to win the belts at All In.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Aussie Open was Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and they've been IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions over in New Japan. And FTR um, is called 7-Star FTR, and those 7 stars are for each of the tag team belts they've held. 2 of those belts are the Ring of Honor Tag Championships and the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championships.
So
So,
they've got quite the illustrious set of
oh yeah.
belts beneath them. Yeah.
So the 7 stars are the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship, NXT Tag Team Championship, SmackDown Tag Team Championship, the Raw Tag Team Championship, AEW World Tag Team Championship, and then the AAA Tag Team Championships. It's all 7 off the top of the dome.
Damn, dude, you got that memorized.
Okay, Siri, close the file. Thank you.
Quick.
Oh, shit. Did you hear that?
What? No, me never.
Fuck.
I can't hear anything.
No, that was off the dome. I didn't Google that.
That sounds like it'll be a good one for sure.
Yeah. This will be tag team wrestling is some of my favorite wrestling just in general. So I'm very excited to see what happens with this matchup. But aside, like even if you're not into tag team championship or like tag team wrestling, and you're more just like you just want to watch fights, you should keep an eye on this match. This one's going to be special, I think.
Hell yeah.
Speaking of tag team championships, even more specific than that, speaking of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship, that's the
Oh.
next match we have to discuss.
Oh. I smelled a transition coming through, and there it was.
There it was. Whoever smelt it, dealt it. And
Hey.
I am dealing it. MJF, one half of the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, will be defending the belts against the Righteous, Vinny Marsiglia, and Dutch.
Yeah,
Now,
so it's a 2-on-1, it seems, right?
Yes. So MJF's tag team partner, Adam Cole, the other half of Better Than You, baby, is injured. He hurt his ankle at Grand Slam. He needs surgery, but he's not relinquishing his half of the belt. And MJF has agreed to defend the belt as a solo wrestler until Adam is healed,
What a nice friend.
which is surprising because MJF is a wrestler and a person, kind of a coward, kind of a cheat. So I I'm I like MJF, I like Adam Cole, and I like the Righteous. I think this is the match I'm least excited for because I think it's just going to be some like MJF shenanigans to
Mm,
be able to beat two guys by himself.
yeah, it seems like that's more or less the case whenever they have these 2-on-1 sort of things. It's like obviously it's not going to be a fair fight, so something's going to happen to try to even the playing field.
Right. And it's disappointing that it's the Ring of Honor tag belts that this is happening with because these are like these are prestige. It might not seem like it with the way the current Ring of Honor show is run, but Ring of Honor is a pretty prestigious company. They're like one of the biggest indies in the world. Um, and it's just a little disappointing that this is going to be the match at the pay per view. Um,
Right.
I think I think it really deserves something better, but I'm still excited to see it. Like the Righteous are cool. I've liked them since I saw them the first time in Ring of Honor. I'm excited that they've got a match on the card, so that'll be fun at least.
Yeah, and I think I've seen the Righteous and MJF. They were both on some of the AEW shows that I watched. Because MJF went up against Samoa Joe, if
Yes,
I'm
and then
remembering that correctly. Yeah, that was fun. It was enjoyable to watch. But I see your concern where it's like, all right, like there's gonna be some shenanigans going on.
yeah,
I can see how that would kind of make it like, whatever
and
sort of
then
deal.
the Righteous were on the Rampage, and they won that Fatal 4-Way to get the Ring
That's
of
right.
Honor tag title
That's
match.
right.
It was them, the Best Friends, the Kingdom, and the Hardys.
The Hardys, yeah.
Yeah, so the Righteous are cool. They're like Vinny is like a or Vincent is like a cult leader kind of guy, and Duchess his follower. They did have more members in the group in the like previous Ring of Honor, but right now it's just the tag team, and they're trying to recruit Stu Grayson from the Dark Order to join them. Um, but
Gotcha.
did you like the MJF thing before his match with Samoa Joe with the little kid?
Uh, yes, 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 yes. Where they were
So
like, "Oh, this was, something like years in the making, sort of deal."
yeah, so there was a I don't know what the match was, but there was a Bret Hart match where before he did a similar vignette, and the kid was backstage with his dad, and he was like, "Oh my God, it's Bret Hart!" And Bret Hart came over and like talked to the kid and was like, "Follow your dreams," all this stuff. And in MJF's version, he just tells the kid that he's adopted. Oh my
Oh
God,
man,
MJF is such a good heel. Holy shit.
yeah.
Um, he is a double champion. Aside from being the Ring of Honor Tag Champion, he is also the current AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Um, he's a custom Burberry title belt, which is cool.
Ooh, fancy
Burberry,
schmancy.
aka those expensive plaid scarves my mom likes. His whole the strap on his title belt is like Burberry plaid.
Fancy, fancy.
Um, yeah, I don't think there's really much to say about this match. It's just it'll still be fun. Um, but yeah, it's MJF's probably just gonna beat the Righteous. Like
Mhm.
I think if they want MJF and Cole to drop the tag belts, they're gonna wait till Cole is there.
Right. Yeah, kind of unfortunate that he got injured. Like,
And I
was
think
it
it'll
a
be to the
week and
Kingdom.
a half ago? Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
All
So
right.
then with
So
that, we are up to our halfway. This is match 5 out of 10. This
yeah,
next one.
this one is
Um,
pretty exciting. You want to tell the
yeah,
people what it is?
sure. There's a lot to this, so please jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. But it looks
Yes.
like it's going to be a 6-man tag team match, which is 2 teams of 3 going against each other. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So
Whenever there's a
one
number in a
team.
tag match, that's total. participants.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So for this, we have Chris Jericho in the Golden Elite, which is Kenny Omega and Kota Ibushi.
Yes.
That's one team, and then they're going up against the Don Callis family, which has Sammy Guevara, who I think recently joined in one of the Grand Slam episodes that I watched.
Yeah, he turned on Jericho at Grand Slam Dynamite and joined up with Callis.
Nice. So we got him. We got Will Ospreay. Is that right?
Yeah.
And Konosuke Takeshita.
Hey,
And
you're close.
hey, I'm trying. And yeah, and that's the Don Callis family with Don Callis as the I guess the head of the family. I guess you would say.
It's kind of a similar energy to the Heenan family back in the day. Bobby Heenan was a manager, and the Heenan family faction was all the guys he managed would just like kind of team up and stuff. Like they would do the traditional Survivor Series match, and it'd just be like four of Heenan's guys, and it would be the Heenan family. So they're all wrestlers that Heenan managed. They weren't necessarily like a faction or a team, but they all came together because they worked for Heenan.
Very cool.
So this is all the guys that Callis works with.
Nice. Yeah. So 6-man tag team. How do you think this one's going to play out?
I think
'Cause
this is
obviously-
another contender for match of the night.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was going to say, like, obviously Chris Jericho is like a seasoned veteran, been around for a while, and I think Sammy Guevara has a lot of heat on him from recently joining. So it'll be interesting to see how he's able to work with kind of some of these, like his new teammates in the family.
Oh yeah. Another interesting thing. Omega and Jericho were big rivals for the longest time in New Japan.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so when Jericho like initially left the WWE before AEW existed, he
Mhm.
went to New Japan and he became like he was his character. So in New Japan, there's Okada, who's like one of their big legendary guys. He is the Rainmaker, is his nickname, and Jericho became the Painmaker. He was like a dark, twisted personality of Chris Jericho, and he feuded with Okada. Then once he was done with Okada, he went after Omega, and they like I'm pretty sure they fought each other in the Tokyo Dome. Jericho and Omega. Um, so these guys don't get along. So it'll be interesting to see how a tag team in the Golden Elite, Omega and Ibushi, are going to work with Chris Jericho, who has honestly been a thorn in the side of both of them in the past.
Right.
And then in terms of the Callis family, Takeshita was Kenny's protege, and Callis turned on Kenny to align with Takeshita and caused Takeshita to turn on Kenny. Callis also used to be the tag team partner of Chris Jericho when Chris Jericho first came into the business. They were both
Oh, wow.
trained by Bad News Brown. He's a WWE legend. And then Will Ospreay defeated Chris Jericho at All In, the show in London. He's the one that beat Kenny Omega at Forbidden Door to win the IWGP United States Championship in an absolute banger. They were bloody. They were bleeding. It was such a good match. My dad and I were watching it in the living room, and we were cheering and hollering. My mom was upstairs trying to sleep. She was like, "Can you guys keep it down?" And we're like, "It's Ospreay and Omega 3. Absolutely not." But once he won that title, he changed it to the IWGP United Kingdom Championship. So if they refer to that, it was the U.S. title when Kenny had it. But yeah. So Ospreay is really like a rival of all three of the guys on the opposite team. Takeshita is a rival for Omega, and Guevara is Jericho's.
Nice. That's cool that they all kind of have a mirror in a way.
Yeah, they all have their mirror, and then I think this match is going to be pretty aggressive. There's a lot of anger. like between the guys in this.
Right.
Ibushi, the only thing about Ibushi that I'm a little nervous about is the last time I watched him wrestle on an AEW show in the Blood and Guts match. The Blood and Guts match is like if you've ever seen the War Games match that WWE does,
Yeah.
the two rings with the one big cage. It's like
Yeah.
the same thing basically.
Okay.
He looked a little rusty. He hadn't wrestled in a while because he was injured, and
Mm,
he didn't move, or his moves didn't hit the best, and I'm a little nervous, but it should still be fun regardless.
gotcha.
But yeah, I think this match could be really good, and I'm interested to see if the story continues with Omega and Jericho working together, or if this is just a one-off.
Right. Kind of see where it goes from here, depending on how it plays out.
Yeah. Did you know that Sammy Guevara is a former TNT champion?
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you might be saying to yourself, Sam,
Sam, why are you bringing up the
why are you
TNT
bringing that up?
Championship?
Oh, you're curious, Tim? The
I
next
am.
match we have to talk about is a TNT championship match.
Oh my God! Oh my God! What a seamless transition that was.
I know, it wasn't awkward at all. It's going to be TNT champion Christian Cage defending his newly won TNT title against two-time TNT champion Darby Allin. 2 out of 3 falls match. I don't remember if I said that already.
Oh, nice little stipulation there.
I am very excited. This is really, aside from that handicap match, this is the only match on the card with like a fun gimmicky stipulation.
Right.
So Darby Allin is the face of the TNT championship. He wasn't the inaugural TNT champion. That was Cody Rhodes. Darby took the title off of Cody. Darby has more defenses of the title than anyone else that's held it in the history of the title. He is the face of this. It's not like a division, but like the face of this championship.
Right.
I think I have a pretty good grasp of the wrestling matches that you're like into and ones you like a lot. I if correct me if I'm wrong, but I think this one could be your favorite match of the night, Tim.
Oh, yes, because I did see some of Darby Allin on either Dynamite or Rampage, because he was wrestling with Sting.
Yeah, Sting is his tag team partner.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. Big fan of like the like half like skull face paint that he does. I thought his moves were cool. I thought he looked awesome. So definitely definitely interested to see more.
And you know what else is exciting about Darby Allin?
What else?
He's the third hometown hero.
Let's go,
He's
baby.
from
We love
Seattle.
Seattle, even though we live on the East Coast.
Yeah, we're from Connecticut, Washington State. Yeah, it's insane to me that in the year 2023, Billy Gunn and Christian Cage are both, one, still wrestling, and two, actively holding titles in the company they're in.
Right.
So, for those of you that don't know, Christian Cage won the TNT Championship on the episode of Collision that was last Saturday, the one right after Grand Slam. What the match was, it was a triple threat. Darby Allin versus Christian Cage versus the TNT champion Luchasaurus. Christian is Luchasaurus's manager. Um, it was billed as a triple threat, but for all intents and purposes, this was a handicap match because Christian and Luchasaurus are partners.
Gotcha.
Luchasaurus active champion, Christian Cage active title holder. And by that, I mean literally. He carried the belt on his shoulder. Luchasaurus did not carry it to the ring ever. Christian always had it in his possession and billed himself as the TNT champion. And Luchasaurus was just fighting for him.
He took that shit everywhere.
Yeah, literally. Christian Cage, great heel. He brought his own daughter onto an episode of Dynamite and then kicked her out of the arena. He some of his other great heel tactics is a lot of the guys he's feuded with have deceased fathers, so he just hits on their
Oh
moms.
my gosh. Oh my lord.
So Christian, when he first showed up in AEW, kind of acted as a third member of Jurassic Express. Jurassic Express was the tag team of Jungle Boy Jack Perry and Luchasaurus. Christian eventually drove a stake between the two of them and convinced Luchasaurus to turn on Jungle Boy, turning Luchasaurus into a heel solo star and what I like to call great value Kane. Luchasaurus looks like
funny.
if you asked your mom to get Kane at the grocery store and she said, "No, we have Kane at home," and then you get home and it's Luchasaurus. So Jungle Boy Jack Perry is the son of, I don't remember. I think he was on 90210. Hollywood icon Luke Perry, rest in peace.
Rest in peace.
He was on that show Riverdale. He played Archie's dad.
That's right. That's right.
So yeah, he was like, one of his first heel moments was like, "Oh, Jack, I see your MILF mom is in the audience. What's up?"
Oh my gosh.
And now that he's feuding with Darby Allin brought former GCW World Tag Team Champion and I believe one of you and I's favorite wrestlers, Nick Wayne, into AEW.
Yo.
Spoiler, Nick Wayne has a dead daddy.
I can see
And
where
he's
this
got
is
a
headed.
single mom. Christian hit on his mom.
Hey, there it is.
There it is, hit on a mom.
Who could have seen this coming?
Yeah, I love Christian's heel work. It's kind of horny, but it's pretty funny. Yeah, sometimes I don't like when wrestlers bring in like real world things to feuds. Like Darby Allin's uncle died in a car accident, and that's a lot of the fuel Christian Cage is using against him. It's like, maybe not that.
Yeah, sometimes it can come across as kind of rough.
Oh,
Yeah,
Darby, your aunt's single?
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
Yeah, but yeah, these two I think work really well together. Like in the promos on the mic, and then in the ring. Like at All In, it was Christian Cage and Swerve versus Sting and Darby in a coffin match.
Ooh,
Sting and Darby got the win, and then Darby also wrestled Christian on an episode of Dynamite. So he's got two televised wins over Christian.
There you go. Could he get a third?
Hopefully. I think this one, well, 2 out of 3 falls matches always go a little long because you've got to get 2 finishes, basically. Right. It's like 3 individual matches in one, kind of.
Yeah, like they're almost designed to kind of play it a bit longer by nature.
Yeah, and honestly, it feels like maybe a point, unless it's like no DQ or something, one of the points will go to Darby because like Luchasaurus interfered or something.
Oh, gotcha.
I think that's another thing I'm excited for. I like Luchasaurus, so I'm excited to see if he plays a hand in this at all. He probably will. Christian's a heel wrestler, and he's got like a muscle that he manages. Mm-hmm. So I feel like we'll see Luchasaurus a lot in this.
Hell yeah.
Maybe Luchasaurus will get in it with Sting.
Maybe.
Or Nick Wayne.
Yeah.
That would be
really
cool.
Luchasaurus's like mask thing, so it'd be fun to see him again.
Oh yeah, he's I like his dinosaur mask. I don't know about you, but I definitely went through a dinosaur phase when I was a child.
Oh my gosh, what young child didn't?
It was like construction vehicles and then dinosaurs and then video games, and I never got out of that one.
We've just been stuck there for the past 20-something years.
Yeah, right. Sometimes the construction vehicles and dinosaurs show up in the video games. So
that makes us happy.
But never the same ones.
No.
What's up next? Oh, okay. So
we got a big one up next.
This one is going to be stiff. This one's going to be good. It is a singles contest for the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship and the Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship, which are both
That's two
currently
belts.
held by Eddie Kingston. Yeah,
Yeah.
2-belt Kingston. And he's defending the title against current Ring of Honor Pure Champion Katsuyori Shibata.
Hot
This
damn.
is gonna be
It's gonna be a lot.
it's so Shibata, when he was in New Japan, had like a career and life threatening injury to his
Mhm.
neck. He had to get surgery. He was told he was maybe never going to walk again. Walking again. He was told he was never going to wrestle again. He's wrestling again.
My
He was
man.
told he was never going to keep a full time wrestling career going. He's keeping a full time wrestling career going. He
Let's
was told he'd
go.
probably never hold another championship again. He's currently Ring of Honor Pure Champion. He's a fighting champion, and he's a damn good champion.
My man.
Eddie Kingston was told he'd probably never hold a title. Currently holding 2 of them, fulfilling a
Two
lifelong
titles.
dream.
2
One of them
titles.
is a world championship.
My guy.
Eddie Kingston was told he'd never make it to a primetime television company. He appears almost weekly.
Mhm.
Eddie Kingston is the biggest fan of international professional wrestling that you'll ever meet. Eddie Kingston is going one-on-one with one of his idols, one of his heroes. These two are going to put on a show
Yeah, they're gonna
for
give it their
us.
all.
Oh my God, this is going to be chops, kicks, punches, slams, submissions. There'll be tears. I guarantee Eddie is going to cry. Like, just tears of joy that he's getting to wrestle Shibata in front of a crowd on a pay-per-view.
Right. Right. Like absolute
Yeah.
dream for him right there, I bet.
Full disclosure, I'm like quarter chub right now.
Just a quarter.
Just a little, not in a
Just
weird way.
hey, totally
Fucking
justifiable.
this match is gonna be good, dude.
Yeah, I'm excited for it.
Oh man.
Because Eddie Kingston, I think, won both of his belts during one of the Grand Slam episodes.
So he already had the New Japan belt, but the match he was in was winner take all. So both belts were on the line. So he technically only won the Ring of Honor title because he retained the strong belt.
Right, right.
But oh, I know you liked that match a lot. Him versus Castagnoli at Grand Slam. Want to
I
hit me with a
did.
little review? Like, tell me what you liked so much about it.
Oh, let me see if I can pull up some of my notes from it.
Oh man, yeah, because when I said let's watch Grand Slam, um, you watched it and then we were texting live during it, and you were like, dude, this match is fucking good.
I was, yeah. It's
Oh my god.
one thing that I took a lot of notes on was that Kingston was taking an absolute beating. And he was still fighting. Like, he was kicking out of some crazy stuff. He was just powering through it all. Um, and I remember him hitting just a ton of chops off of Castagnoli. Um, and
Didn't
uh,
Castagnoli no sell him? Like he just stood
yeah,
there?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
he was just like absolutely unaffected by it. So it was just like a real just fight to the end for Kingston. And you can tell when he finally got the pinfall victory, it was just like holy crap! Like, he fought for it. He really did. It was just really great to see.
It felt like I was texting a longtime wrestling fan because you were so into it,
Oh,
dude. I was like, "There's the passion. Tim's caught the spark.
hey,
He's gonna be watching all the
that
time now, like I do."
that warms my heart to hear.
glad I could warm your heart for you, bud.
Hey,
Uh, I think I've said it like 3 times now, but this one will be up there. If there's a top 5 matches from the 10 on this pay-per-view, this is one of them.
hmm,
It,
hell yeah,
it's going to be a treat for like casual wrestling fans, and then even for like the people who know the backstory, who know how much this means to Eddie Kingston. Like, holy shit, it's going
right,
to be emotional.
right. And it's great that, like, matches can have that kind of like dual nature to them, where it's like it's fun for someone just to watch and like appreciate just as like someone who's just casually watching and like see them put on
Hmm.
a good show. And then it's awesome when there's that second layer to it for people who like are invested in like the history and the story behind each of the wrestlers and kind of knowing like what it means to see them fighting each other. So it's awesome when
Yeah.
like, there's like that sort of double complexity to it.
Oh man, yeah, I think you said it perfectly. I think that was a perfect wrap up for this portion
Thank
of the
you.
episode.
Thank you.
Do you wanna tell the people what's next up on the card?
Sure. So this is a singles match that we're looking at for the AEW TBS Championship. It is going to be Chris Statlander versus Julia Hart, and Chris Statlander is the current champion.
Yes. So, Julia Hart is currently on a 27 match winning streak.
Mm.
The last time she lost a match was on an episode of AEW Dark Elevation, a show that does not exist anymore. And that
Oh
loss
my goodness!
was to Chris Statlander.
Oh wow!
So she's turning this 27 win streak into a title opportunity against the last person she lost to.
That's there's a lot on the line here for both of them. Then
Yeah, I don't have too much to say about this match. AEW has a pretty stacked women's division. There are a lot of talented women on that roster, but they don't really put a lot of effort into it storyline wise or like time wise. There's only one women's match on this entire card, and it kind of feels like they just put it here because they were like, "Oh shit, we don't have a women's match."
yeah, and that does kind of suck because you know it's good to have like a little something from everything, and if you have such a good women's division, like you're saying, or like talent in the women's division, then you know you would kind of hope that there would be more than just one women's match in a 10 match card.
Yeah, like they have two women's titles. One of them is not being defended on the show at all. That's Soraya's AEW Women's World Championship.
Hmm.
It just feels like they should have put more effort into this feud. It kind of only felt like it became a feud 2 weeks ago when they announced the match.
Dang.
Um, but I think that's my big want for AEW is to put a little more effort into their women's division.
Right.
I was talking to you the other night off camera when I said the wrestling company with the best women's division, excuse me, currently is Impact Pro Wrestling. They feature multiple women matches per show, per pay-per-view. The division is well written, the feuds are well done, and the matches are friggin' great.
Right.
It feels like why can't AEW and WWE take a page from Impact's book and reach out to their writers, reach out to the bookers, whatever they have to do, and figure out a way to make their women's division better than they are because they
Right.
are stacked. They just don't utilize them that well.
It's just underutilized. Like you have
It's disappointing.
You have so much talent. You have tons of people who would love to see like that representation. Because you know like tons of people from all different backgrounds watch wrestling. So the more diverse it is, the more inclusive it is. Like the better the product is going to be at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You got to put exactly like you said. You've got to put every division on the show in a way that feels right, not just shoehorned in.
Yeah. Man,
one thing I will say,
I have such a way with words this episode.
Yeah, you're doing good, dude. One thing I noticed with this feud, I knew Brody King was a big dude, but seeing him next to Julia Hart, fuck, that guy's gigantic.
Big boy.
He is a big fucking dude. Holy shit.
His build height is 6'5".
Huh. Did you know he have you ever watched I Think You Should Leave?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
He's in I Think You Should Leave.
Oh no way, which sketch is he in?
I don't remember the name. It's like he's looking at an ad on the computer and there's a wrestler in it. It's Brody King, just standing in the ring like yelling.
I love that.
That show is so friggin' funny. Fuck! They're trying to make it look fake.
Trying to make it look fake.
You sure about that? You sure about that?
We're all trying to find the guy who did this. Dude, I love
54
that show
burgers,
so
65 fries. want 55 women's matches.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want. We're trying to do something nice. Speaking of 55 things, this next match feels like it's got 55 wrestlers in it.
Oh my gosh, dude, no kidding. I'll let you handle this one.
All right. So this next match is a fatal four-way tag team match where the winning team gets a shot at whoever wins FTR versus Aussie Open gets a shot at the AEW World Tag Team titles whenever they want.
Mm.
This match features 3 tag teams that have already held the AEW World Tag Team Championships. It features 2/3 of the current Ring of Honor 6-man tag team champions. It features the current AEW International Champion, and it features the current FTW Champion. So the teams are as follows. We have Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, versus Austin and Colton Gunn, versus the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo, with Alex Abrahantes. And the final team, brand new team, Orange Cassidy and Hook.
Let's go, Orange Cassidy.
Oh, that's your boy. That's your
My
buddy.
boy.
Did you know Hook is a Nepo baby?
Really? Who's
Yeah.
the connection there?
Taz, the commentator,
Oh, no way.
that's Hook's father, legendary ECW star Taz.
That's so cool.
The FTW championship is something Taz created when he was in ECW.
Oh.
Taz wanted a shot at the ECW World Championship or World Title, whatever they called it. But he was not being granted what he wanted, so he created his own belt, the FTW Championship, the Fuck the World Championship,
I love
and
that.
he brought it back in AEW. The first person to hold it in AEW was Brian Cage of the Mogul Embassy. And then it went to Ricky Starks, who we'll talk about next. And now it's on Hook, Taz's
Nice.
baby boy, the cold-hearted, handsome devil.
Hell yeah.
Orange Cassidy and Hook are a team I'm very excited to see because they were fun to watch in that mixed person 6 tag at Grand Slam. So it'll be interesting to see how they work as a unit. And it's an interesting pairing, to say the least. Hook is one of the hottest rising stars in professional wrestling at the moment across all companies. And to be paired with someone who's been in the business as long as Orange has is always cool. And the Lucha Brothers, my favorite tag team in AEW.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of like any sort of like lucha style wrestling. I've seen some of Phoenix, and you were telling me a bit about Pentagon Junior, Penta El Zero Mediano.
Yeah. But Penta
So
Jr. is fine. You're good.
yeah. So I'm excited to see them face off as well.
Yeah, I like Lucha Libre a lot. It's, I think, if not my favorite, in my top 3 favorite like subgenres or styles of wrestling. They're a very good tag team. They've worked a lot with Orange Cassidy and the Bucks. I don't think they've worked that much with the Guns, but everyone in this match, it's gonna be it's gonna be a spot fest, to say the least.
Yeah, because another thing that I love that I've been seeing a lot more with tag team matches, or I guess something that I appreciate when I'm watching a tag team match, is when the wrestlers have like sort of like synced up like moves. So like if there are 2 like lucha wrestlers and they both do like some sort of like a flying maneuver and it's like synced up with each other, it's just so like visually impressive. It just kind of
Oh yeah,
elevates. It just like elevates even like just like average moves. It just makes them look even cooler. And I feel like I've seen a lot of that already with some of the tag teams in AEW. So, like you're saying, I'm sure there's just gonna be a lot of moments in this that are just like dang, like that's impressive.
yeah. Now correct me if I'm wrong, but you also seem like you would be into a really cool sequence of spots.
Oh yes, like
Like,
I'm trying to remember. It might have been Orange Cassidy's match, but like someone was trying to do a German suplex on 2 guys, and like they couldn't do it. So then another guy from the other team came in, and then it was like a 2v2 suplex, and they couldn't hit it. Then a third guy came in, and like it just keeps
Oh yeah, it's
stacking.
like 4 dudes all in a
Yeah.
row, and then one side finally suplexes the other.
Yes, yes. Like stuff like that. It's like, or it just builds up, or it's like one guy does a submission hold, and then another guy does a submission hold
And then it's
on
like a
him.
human centipede of submissions.
Yes, like stuff like that. It's just like, oh, like it's just so fun to see, and that's something that you can only get when you have like
Like
just a ton of
16
people.
friggin' dudes in a match.
Right,
Like those scrambles they do on GCW.
right, right.
I bet there'll be a spot where like one guy gets clotheslined over the top rope, and then another dude comes flying over the top rope onto him, and then a dude comes off the turnbuckle, and then another guy dives through the ropes, and then someone tosses another guy over onto them, and all that stuff. It's gonna be cool. On the episode of Dynamite right before the pay per view, so the one that was on Wednesday night this week, they did a fatal 4-way singles match featuring one member from each of the teams.
Right.
So
Sort
it
of
was
a
one of the
little
Young Bucks.
teaser.
I don't know which Young Buck is which, but it was one of the Young Bucks, Austin Gunn, Orange Cassidy, and Pentagon. Every single one of them in the match, they did like a chain of Canadian destroyers,
Mhm.
which it's like I don't know how to describe it without you actually looking up a video of a Canadian destroyer. I know you have probably seen it. I'm like talking to the audience. Um, it's like the guy has them in like pile driver position, but then he flips with them and then they land on the mat.
Interesting. See, when someone is talking about Canada, the first thing that comes to mind is not a move where they injure the other person.
What comes to mind? Dousing them in maple syrup or hitting them with a hockey stick?
Both at the same time.
And it's always Celine Dion doing it.
Exactly.
Right. Um, oh, I know we were discussing maybe doing like a theme month down the road for the show, but we were talking about celebrity wrestlers off camera. Remember, it was the move Bad Bunny hit in that WrestleMania match against The Miz? The flippy thing?
That was a Canadian destroyer.
Yeah.
Yo. Sorry, I
Um,
took a moment to look up some gifs so I could get a visual.
oh, yeah, you're good. You're
It's
good.
it's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they did like a very quick string of destroyers on each other. I'm like, holy shit, this is cool. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of when I was listing off all the accolades of the people in this match, there's a lot of talent in this match.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Young Bucks are the current Ring of Honor 6-man tag champs, also former tag champs. The Guns held the tag belts. Lucha Brothers held the tag belts. Phoenix is currently the international champion. Orange Cassidy is the former international champion, and Hook is a 2-time FTW champion. Like,
Mm,
holy shit. The only
yeah.
thing that could like make more gold in this match is if the Dudley Boys suddenly debuted in AEW. Like, holy shit.
No kidding. Yeah, this would be a really great one to either open the show with, because then you kind of start it all off with a bang, or maybe like middle to the end when
Right.
if things are you're like, oh, like I'm I got to get pumped back up for that final match. Kind of drop
Yes,
this one on it.
exactly.
Yeah.
My only worry if they put this on to open the show, what if the rest of it doesn't hold up? Like they open with a bang and it peters out like SummerSlam did.
That's a big fear. Yeah.
I think when you said putting it in the middle to the end of the show, you were right on the money when you said put it in the middle. Put it directly in the middle of the show.
What can I
If
say, man? Today's my day. I just don't
you're
miss.
hitting, dude,
I'm hitting.
um,
I'm hitting dingers.
first
Knocking
4
them out of the
matches
park.
or anything, um, nothing beats the sweet, sweet crack of the bat, dude.
A sweet, sweet, sweet
Sweet
crack of the
crack of
bat.
the bat. Um, first 4 matches are good, but you're kind of getting bored. You need a bathroom break. They put the women's title match on, or just a match you're not interested in. Come back from the bathroom, weighing whatever from wherever. You know this fatal 4-way is about to start. You're
Boo.
back in it, and it carries you through to that main event.
My ass
And
is
you're
on
fucking.
that seat.
You're on that seat. You're chomping pizza. You're eating wings. You're drinking beers. You're hanging with the boys.
Call me an old school television because I am tuned in.
Hell yeah, with the analogy. Now you're
Yes.
talking like a podcaster, baby.
Dude, I am
This
so
is
excited for this
exciting.
show. It's gonna be
Oh
a
my
great
god.
one.
Before we get to overall like how excited we are, we do have one match. I think we can talk about this one pretty quick because they announced it like last night. It's Ricky Starks versus Wheeler Yuta. There's not a
Yeah,
lot of build for this match, but these two guys I like. They're talented, they're young, they're up and coming. It's going to
nice,
be good.
nice. Yeah, I don't think I've seen either of them yet. But it's good when there's like up and coming sort of young guys because they're I feel like they really give their all, trying to prove themselves, make a name in a way. They're just really really invested in it.
Um,
So hopefully that's the case here.
the storyline reason for this match, Ricky Starks just finished a feud with Bryan Danielson. Bryan Danielson is the mentor of Wheeler Yuta within the Blackpool Combat Club. Wheeler Yuta is mad how Ricky Starks treated Bryan Danielson and wants revenge,
Oh,
which tomorrow night on Collision, the main event is an all-star 8-man tag to prepare you for Wrestledream. It's Bryan Danielson, Wheeler Yuta, and FTR versus Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and the Aussie Open. And you're thinking, how could it get any better than that? Bryan Danielson's opponent for Wrestledream, Zack Sabre Jr., is doing guest commentary for the match.
ooh,
So that's gonna be good. I'm gonna probably like No Mercy is on tomorrow night for NXT,
hmm
and I'm like, do I dual screen it? Like, do I put No Mercy up big on the television and then watch Collision small on my phone, or vice versa? It's going to be a good wrestling weekend, regardless of what company you're into. It's going to be a fun weekend for wrestling.
yep. There's a lot going on.
Um, speaking of good wrestling, WWE is bringing an NXT pay per view to Bridgeport in December.
Yo,
Uh, the TD Bank Arena in
mhm,
Bridgeport is going
Bridgeport,
to have NXT Deadline.
sick.
So I'm thinking about getting tickets. I want to go to that. I want to see that. That sounds fun.
Yeah, little
Um,
little hometown show.
yeah, and that's where AEW comes to every November too.
Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, I went the last two times they came, and it was so much fun. Live wrestling is so much fun. Um, so of the 10 matches, I think I know which one you're going to say, but what match are you most excited for on Sunday night?
Probably. Well, if I had to narrow it down to two,
Oh
I'd
yeah,
have
yeah.
to
Give me
say,
your two. Give me your two.
I have to say either the Brian Danielson versus Zack Sabre Jr. fight,
Yep.
or the four-way tag team match, with what is it, 8 people going at it together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was very nervous that you did not open with that. You wanted to see the Fatal Four Way because that was I had money on that was the one you were excited to see. But anyway,
I'm very excited.
I
I'd say
love a
I'd say
big
between those two.
Yeah, I love a big multi-man match. So that one's on there for me, the Fatal Four Way. Um, I don't know if I'm more excited for Danielson versus Sabre or Kingston versus Shibata, but
Mm,
overall, I'm very excited to take in this show, and even more so because I've got friends coming over to watch it with, and it's
yeah,
always exciting to share wrestling with the people that you're friends with your friends.
right, right. Yeah, just like
Yeah,
just being in any scenario where you're just surrounded by people who are just so passionate about it, it just makes it like so much, like just like such a fun time.
yeah, and
It's gonna be good.
um, I think of the people coming over, everyone is a fan in some capacity. So
Hell yeah.
I don't think you'll feel like left out or uncomfortable in the conversation as a newer fan. Like they're good guys. Everyone that's coming through
Oh,
is
we
good
love to hear
dudes.
that. We love we
So
love
I'm
we love
excited
it when
to
you're considerate.
hell yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited to watch it with everyone.
Sweet.
But yeah, thanks for talking with me, buddy, and I'll see you Sunday.
Hey man, anytime. I'm looking forward to it, as I've said multiple times tonight, and I will keep saying until it happens.
I did a little prank ski on my dad and told him we were gonna live record during the pay-per-view.
Ooh.
I was like, "Oh, Dad, we're doing a live episode," and he was like, "No way!" And I was like, "No, I'm just pranking you. Unless you want
Hey,
to be
maybe
on
one
it." And
day.
he was like, "I'll think about it." He does want to come on the show. Just
Nice.
putting that out there. wants to do a Rowdy Roddy Piper episode.
Ooh.
Yeah, sorry. I said I'd talk to our people. That's you.
Yeah.
You're the people.
We'll bring it
But,
up with our
bring it up with
managers.
corporate,
Yeah.
the production team. All right, buddy. So on that note, thank you for listening, everybody.
Yes,
We'll see
we
you for
appreciate it as
Wrestledream.
always. Enjoy.
Enjoy. Thank you.
Later.
Bye.